Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Engine25 Reviews. This week, we're talking about Sonic the Hedgehog 2, which is a movie that I would have begged for when I was 6 years old, and it took this long to come out. Here with a new guest this week, my buddy Nick. He's Nick White on all the things. He's probably the biggest Sonic fan I know other than myself.
Yeah, that checks out.
Yeah. How you doing, Nick?
I'm doing pretty good. We have a good Sonic 2 movie. So.
We do. How did that happen?
I have no idea. I'm gonna be honest. I have no idea how these two movies came to be and also are good. I don't understand it.
And I was talking about when I was a kid, I really wanted a Sonic 2 movie. I was also a kid who, like, every time Super Mario Brothers was on TNT, I was like 6 inches from the television. And that movie is awful. So if I had this movie when I was a kid.
That is not a path I can follow you down. The Super Mario Brothers movie is terrible.
What you just got to trust the fungus. That's
terrible.
It's oh god, it's so awful. It's so awful. And now Chris Pratt is apparently Mario, so that's coming out.
Well,
yeah. So it sounds like you give me some like general thoughts. How did you? Well, actually, before we do that, what's your really fill me in on what your background is with Sonic the Hedgehog?
So my dad got me a Genesis when I was like 6.
Okay.
And I don't know, it just something about like the speed and how tightly like the controls worked like in your hand. You always felt like you had an incredible control over Sonic. It really sort of like put you in his shoes.
Control in a way that sometimes you don't feel like you have with more recent Sonic games. I'm sorry,
exactly,
go on.
Yeah, exactly. Genesis Sonic is still unrivaled. Sonic Mania is very good, but Genesis Sonic still is unrivaled in the amount of just like, here you are, let's get it. Let's go. Let's go fast. That's the whole reason we're here.
You're going to start on the left and you're going to go to the right as fast as you can.
Yeah, and so like I still have that original Genesis. I've got like 3 other Genesises downstairs. I've been a huge Sega fan like my whole life. And so that's kind of where the Genesis was for me.
Nice. Yeah, I didn't have a Genesis when I was like really little. We had an NES, and then we eventually got a PS1. But my older brother had a Sega Game Gear, and for the kids, it's basically a Nintendo Switch, except instead of it being this big and most of it being screen, it's this big and 2 inches thick, and the screen was about slightly larger than a postage stamp.
And it would drain 6 AA batteries in about 4 hours.
You were lucky to finish a video game before the batteries died. Yeah. And I'm not going to hate on it altogether. It was my first exposure to Sonic. The games are largely the same. Like Sonic 2 on the Game Gear is 80% the game that was on the Genesis. Like one level here or there would be different, but most of it was identical. And it was a fully backlit 16-bit screen.
It was very ahead of its time for
and the Game Boy was out, and it's like people were like, bro, you got to get a Game Boy, and I'm like, why would I get a Game Boy when I have this? And now being a grown-up person, I obviously know that the game library on the Game Boy was far superior, but like the Game Gear was a very impressive tech for the early 90s.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so that was my exposure to. I don't think we had Sonic 1. I specifically remember Sonic 2, Sonic and Knuckles, and then like Sonic Chaos. Okay. And and so Sonic 2 is that's a game for the ages. Like if I were to list of my favorite games of all time, Sonic 2 is it's certainly in the top 25, if not in the top 10.
So I also had a Game Gear, and I also had Sonic 2, and like isn't like the second level is like that lava level or something, right?
I think that's the third level, but yeah, I know. I remember what you're talking about.
There's like a lava level with a huge pit that's just lava at the bottom.
Yeah.
I literally could not get past that. I have no idea what it's beyond that level.
It's funny you say that. We had like the Lion King game for Game Gear. And yeah, like there's the level, there are 3 or 4 levels, and then you get to the Stampede level, and then I'd never beat like the one after the Stampede, like where he first goes into the jungle and meets Timon and Pumbaa. It never happened. But yeah, so me and the blue guy go way back. I watched a little bit of the '90s Sonic show when I was little, but otherwise, I've mainly just been a fan of the games, and I probably treat them more fairly than many of them deserve. Did you ever play? One of my favorites is Sonic Rush on like it came out around the time the first Nintendo DS did. It's the introduced Blaze the Cat.
No, never played Sonic Rush. There's a bit of a gap in my Sonic video game repertoire. I already mentioned the 2D Genesis games were the OG.
Right. You know, and to be fair, like I didn't play any of the 3D games until like they came out on 360. You know, I never had a Dreamcast or any of that. So like I played
Sonic Unleashed was really interesting until it wasn't. Is my experience with it.
Yeah. I played like Sonic Adventure 2 on the screen in the Target. Whereas it's like, hey, try out the Dreamcast. And then I didn't play it again until it came out on 360 and I bought it. And this game, I said this game was terrible. But yeah, like I really like Sonic Rush. And it was cool because, you know, the DS has the 2 screens and it was a continuous side-scrolling thing. So sometimes he would dip down into the bottom and loop-de-loop and he'd go back up to the top. And it just felt, you know, it felt like old school, like super fast. And Blaze was really cool because she set shit on fire. And it was just, you know, and then later on, like Sonic Colors is on Wii, and I have it on Xbox Series X now, and it's dope. And then like Sonic Generations is great.
I spent an inordinate amount of time playing Sonic R Racing for Windows 95.
Nice.
A
rare appearance of Sonic on PC until before like the recent times.
It was their Mario Kart clone.
It
was all right.
the modern Sonic racing games are not Mario Kart, but they are not bad if you haven't tried those. Yeah. And then so you mentioned Sonic Mania. That Sonic Mania is a near perfect experience. Like it's really hard, but it's a really great video game.
Absolutely, it really is.
Yeah. So the first Sonic the Hedgehog movie came out a couple of years ago, and we probably early, I want to say 2019, because all this was pre-pandemic. We got that trailer where Sonic just looked horrifying.
It was 2012, 2019 is when that trailer
came out. Yeah.
2020 is...
that's when the movie dropped.
It was literally the last movie that I saw before the pandemic hit.
I saw Onward with my buddy Philip, and then like that was on like the Saturday before, and then the pandemic, like the world ended on Tuesday. So... But yeah, they had that trailer where Sonic just looked horrifying, like the teeth and the eyes and the. So they delayed the movie. It was supposed to come out that fall, and then it came out in February 2020, a month before the pandemic. And you're just like, the buzz around this was really good, and I was like, how? I don't believe you. Like, okay, Jim Carrey's in it. Like, I always like Jim Carrey, like since I was a kid, but what's happening here? So
like James Marsden's in it. Always like James Marsden. Like, and it's just the way that they set it up is obviously like with the games and stuff, there's very limited like human and Sonic interaction. There is in Sonic 2005, and it's everyone hates it. Sega, apologize for it. But
and that
so it's like, okay, well, how do you bring Sonic into, you know, human world, Earth, and make it all make sense and make it all work? And it was just really it's, you know, Stranger in a Strange Land. They did they kind of made it a road movie, which is like it's like two guys in the truck for like the second half of the movie, and it's like it's great. And it's very simple storytelling devices, and it all works because James Marsden is like incredibly charismatic. And Ben Schwartz can do anything essentially. And so like it just sort of came together and it just worked.
And you know, it's where looking at the trailers and stuff, it's like, why my whole thing was, why are there so many humans in this movie? It's like, I think I might want to see like a photorealistic, but this was before all this, before the movies came out. Like I might just rather see like a photorealistic animated Sonic movie that doesn't really have any humans in it. Why are we getting Sonic in the real world? This is weird. And I won't completely take that back after the first movie. Like the Sonic is really the only animated character in it, and it's a little, I'm not going to say that's a perfect movie, but it's a movie I would have loved when I was 6.
Yeah, no, it's not perfect. It is. I mean, at heart, it's still a kids movie.
Yeah,
so
I mean, and there's nothing wrong with that. To be fair, like we're
absolutely
saying I would have loved it when I was a kid is probably the best thing that you could say about it, and that's absolutely great. If I have tons of friends with kids who don't give a shit about Sonic the Hedgehog, but their kids are a big fan of the movie, so that's great.
Yeah, that's really all you can ask for.
Yeah, so they almost immediately announced the sequel. Jim Carrey was going to be back, and then Tails was in like the post credit scene of that first one.
Yeah, he was in the stinger, yeah.
And I've always liked Tails because he was kind of like the little goofy sidekick guy. He's Robin to Sonic's Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always liked that Tails could fly. Like, why would I pick Sonic if I could just float over everything? You know what I mean?
Well, because you got limited stamina.
Well,
you can't do it all the time.
Well, obviously, yeah, I hear you. Yeah, and Jim Carrey, like we're saying, like he's so zany. He's like Jim Carrey from Batman Forever, but to the max.
Yeah, it's absolutely rubber-faced. Jim Carrey was the perfect casting for this role. I feel like other people probably would have tried to either take it too serious or would have just leaned way too into like, oh, this is a kid's movie. And it's like, no, Jim Carrey just went in and was Jim Carrey.
Yeah, and if anybody's going to be Jim Carrey, it's got to be Jim Carrey. And they were smart in that first one not to go wild with his appearance. They held it back until like right at the end he gets banished to the mushroom world. And he's got the crazy mustache. It was like, all right, we're getting the real Robotnik in the sequel, and God damn it, we do. It's really this movie. All right, I'm gonna go first. This movie's better than the first one. Like this one is legitimately a movie that I would like watch again, unironically, because you know what I mean. Like the first one was a fun rewatch going into this one, but it's not what I'm going to revisit on a regular basis. And this is probably like straight up a movie that I will watch it again just to have fun. You know what I mean?
I would agree with that, but only by about a half a point. Like if Sonic 1 is an 8.5 or whatever, I'm gonna call.
I don't think Sonic 1's an 8.5, but that's fair.
No, that's fine. Yeah, just say it. But like, yeah, if I would call it just a half step above Sonic
1. And they made it more of like a buddy movie with Sonic and Tails, kind of. It's like this one's closer to the cartoons than.
I feel like it took a lot of inspiration from those early 90s cartoons, the Archie's comics that have been out for forever. I feel like it took a lot of the heart and character dynamics between Sonic and Tails, and honestly Sonic and most people. They took a lot of that, and that's part of what makes it work, is that Sonic is kind of an asshole, but also like he's funny and charming and people just want to hang out with him.
Yeah.
And that's always been
kind of like you.
Exactly.
No, yeah. So, and I got to call out, and I remember we had a brief interaction on the Facebook or something when they announced Idris Elba as Knuckles, and we were like, just like, okay, well, we liked the first one. Let's see where this goes. Like Knuckles in this movie, like he's such a doofus. He's like the honorable warrior, but he's like even more of a fish out of water than Sonic is, and it's really fun and endearing. Like it's like Drax. Like he's really a lot like Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy. But like
Absolutely. Have you watched any of like Sonic Boom?
Like 2 episodes. I don't even remember if Knuckles were in the ones that I watched.
Okay, that's basically his vibe in Sonic Boom. He's not an antagonist in that show, but he is just like peak himbo. He's just dumb and strong, and occasionally will drop like a 30-second monologue about like equality and feminism.
Excellent.
And so like I feel like Idris Elba got the dumb strong, and then like once they give him a little bit more seasoning in Sonic 3, which is absolutely going to happen. Once they give him a little bit more seasoning, once he's got a little bit more context for like how this world works, he'll get that more himbo energy.
I don't know if I know what himbo is, but I think I like it.
Well, okay, so you know what a bimbo is, right?
Yeah.
A himbo is a male, or yeah, male bimbo. It's just like he's just hot and stupid, and but occasionally we'll reel off 30 seconds about like the nature of life, and it's like, oh, that was smart. Was it you the whole time?
Yeah. He just randomly says something super profound.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
I love it. Yeah. So we've already spoiled some stuff. I'm putting up the graphic. Yeah. I've been a fan of James Marsden since that first X-Men movie. And
Absolutely.
yeah. And it's always nice to see him around. And I got a question for you, Nick. Do you think James Marsden is going to get murdered in the first 15 minutes of Sonic 3? And some super nerds will know what I'm talking about.
Only if Shadow the Hedgehog becomes a host for the Phoenix Force.
Yeah, and that'd be a weird take, but I might be here for it. You know what I mean?
It would certainly be a thing I've never seen before.
Yeah. So we're obviously getting Shadow in the next movie, but yeah. Anything you didn't? We've been kind of showering it with praise. Anything we didn't like about Sonic 2?
My off the top, it did feel like it felt like they were they leaned a little bit more into that 7-year-old, 7, 8, 9-year-old sort of age range, where like Sonic 1, for whatever reason, I don't recall feeling like they were talking sort of down to me like I was a child. Sonic 2, there were moments where it was like, well, this isn't for me. This is for children.
And yeah, that's totally fair. And again, not necessarily a bad thing, but I prefer when movies treat children like they're small adults, because that's kind of what or like treat your audience with respect, no matter what age your audience is.
And, and Sonic 2 does that for the most part.
Yeah.
There were a lot of the interaction, I think, between like James Marsden and Sonic was a little bit like, oh, this is a lesson for children to learn.
Right. Yeah, you messed it up, kid.
They're supposed to see and go, oh, okay, this is how I should apply myself for the next 3 or 4 years or whatever.
Oh, excuse me, burped right in the mic. What about, like, I wasn't so sure about the human dynamics in this movie either going in. I love that they twisted it around. It's like, oh yeah, by the way, it's all just an act because we're tracking you in Sonic. But like I could use a lot less of the goofy humor with just the humans. And maybe that's just me, but some of that is budgetary. You can't have Sonic in every. The reason there are humans in this movie is because it would be too expensive to have Sonic in every scene.
Correct. Agent Stone is, I think, a little over the top. He's not necessary at all. His character is just so unimportant that he actually never leaves the one room he's in.
He's in the evil lair the entire. That's so true.
Yeah. So like that would be like the actor did a good job. But like you could cut every scene he's in and it would not change the outcome of the movie at all.
Right. I mean, he exists mainly to give like Robotnik somebody to bounce off of.
Robotnik bounces off himself just fine. Jim Carrey has always been able to do that.
It's true. Like if just scenes of Jim Carrey dancing surrounded by robots, it's just like that's peak content in 2022. So yeah, at the MacGuffin here is they're off the beginning of the movie. Robotnik is still stuck on the mushroom planet trying to figure out how to make coffee that's edible. And then he finds a way off, and he by happenstance kind of runs into Knuckles. More accurately, Knuckles finds him and tells him about the Chaos Emeralds, which is for fans, it's a big thing from the video games.
He tells him about the Master Emerald. They don't actually bring up the Chaos Emeralds at all.
Okay, that's fair. The Master Emerald is when you combine all the Chaos Emeralds, right? Like,
yeah, I'm cheating when I say that.
Yeah. And I will be honest, even as a guy who loves Sonic games, I don't recall if I've ever gotten all 7 Chaos Emeralds in any single Sonic game. Because I'm a very get to the end of the game and I'm done with the game kind of person.
I have currently downstairs in my basement a Sonic 3 and Knuckles save where I have gotten all 7 Chaos Emeralds. And then after you get the Chaos Emeralds, you get the opportunity to get the Master Emeralds, of which there are also 7. So, and then once you get all 7 Chaos Emeralds is when Sonic can transform into Super Sonic.
Right.
And then once you get all 7 Master Emeralds, he can transform into Hyper Sonic.
Hypersonic is I'm flabbergasted to know that I didn't know hypersonic was a thing.
Yes, there's actually an entirely different final level at the end of Sonic 3 and Knuckles if you get hypersonic.
What?
It is you are so
I just googled hypersonic and Sonic and the Secret Rings, the Wii game came up.
So yeah, hypersonic in Sonic 3 and Knuckles. The final level for like normal playthrough is like you're on like that bridge or whatever in space, and Robotnik's shooting the giant laser at you, and you just hit the laser with the emerald in it. It comes apart or whatever. But if you have all 7 Master Emeralds after that level, you do what is essentially like the Empire Strikes Back asteroid belt chase.
Where, epic. Like, okay.
Hypersonic is literally blasting through space, and there are asteroids, and because of the way supersonic hypersonic functions, you have 50 seconds to catch Robotnik, and also you have to find more rings. And so it's all happening it's the fastest Sonic thing ever. It's all happening at blindingly fast things. If you hit asteroids, it slows you down, and you obviously can't catch Robotnik, and you lose the opportunity to collect rings to maintain your hypersonic form.
Right. Okay.
It's got the single best music in all of the games. It is
really okay.
The hypersonic stage at the end of Sonic 3 Knuckles.
Oh yeah, and it's like Sonic 3, like the music is it's a little different, but it's amazing because like Michael Jackson was somehow involved with the composition. It also makes Sonic 3 and Knuckles very difficult to port because like the weird rights going on with the Michael Jackson involvement.
Absolutely. I just bought like the Sega Genesis collection on my PlayStation 4 like 2 months ago, and I thought it was weird. They have Sonic 1, they have Sonic 2, and then it's just like that's it. And it was just like
no, it's because because they owe money to the Michael Jackson estate every time they release Sonic 3.
It's fine. I have a perfect Sonic 3 and Knuckles save on cartridge in my basement. So
epic, and it still works. Your battery's not dead.
Absolutely.
Nice. So yeah, we're talking about Supersonic. Well, I did not expect to get Supersonic in this movie, but you know, it's like the thing crumbles and it's like, oh shit, what's happening? But then there's the 7 emeralds, and at that moment it's like, oh shit, they're gonna do it, and it's gonna be great.
As soon as they showed us an emerald in like the trailer, there was just a bare glimpse of like 1 emerald in the trailer.
Right.
As soon as they did that, my brain was like, oh, we're getting Supersonic. We're gonna get it. It's the only way to go. If we're doing Knuckles, if we're doing Knuckles, we're doing the Mushroom Zone. You know, if we're doing all of these things from the games that have this sort of end goal, we're gonna get Supersonic. I'm a little disappointed we didn't get the Death Egg, but like I get it.
Okay.
That's just the Death Star with a mustache. Don't do that.
we got a giant robot with a mustache.
Correct, and it looked identical to the final boss from Sonic 2.
It does. Yeah.
It looks identical, like to the point I showed my wife, and she was like, "Oh, they just made that," and I was like, "Yeah, they sure did." Random shout out. I don't know if I told. In fact, I know I didn't tell you, but I ran into your wife at Target like 2 weeks ago, just like randomly. No, she didn't tell me at all.
Yeah. It was just like, oh hey Chrissy, and like we're bye. Anyway.
Cool.
Yeah. So and then Supersonic obviously destroys the giant robot and saves the day.
It was very reminiscent of like Super Smash Bros. Final Smash Supersonic.
Yeah,
was how they operated it, which is not my favorite depiction of it, but like I get it.
It kind of flies around and runs into stuff, and stuff blows up.
Yeah. And I don't know if you knew this, but the creator of Sonic is like best friends with the creator of Dragon Ball Z.
Also the creator of Balan Wonderworld, the worst game of 2021. Sorry.
Okay. Sure.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'll take your word for it. And so like yeah, they're best friends, and so like that's literally the entire reason that Supersonic exists, and the whole like get 7 of this magical stone thing and you get a new thing. And so like that's the reason that exists. And
Right.
like it seeing all of that, seeing a Super Saiyan on screen essentially is
Right.
just like, oh my god, we could have a good Dragon Ball Z movie. We're just
We
not.
could. We've had 2 that are awful. Yeah. Yeah. So about I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say where I brought up not having the Death Egg, and that was a little disappointing. But something else I was disappointed by was not having any kind of Metal Sonic. Just I think if you're gonna have Robotnik be your big bad, then Metal Sonic has to make an appearance somewhere.
And that I feel like we might get a Metal Sonic in the Sonic 3 movie.
There's absolutely still
especially
still
if because Jim Carrey says he's retiring, and right now, like, this movie leaves it open to he could have, like, we didn't see him get smashed, whatever. Like, he's in the top of the robot, and the robot falls over. So there's a chance that Robotnik survived, and maybe they just left it open because they knew Jim Carrey was talking about retiring. But if they could convince him to do one more, I think there's a good chance we get Metal Sonic in the next one, and we might even get Sonic, or we know we're getting Shadow the Hedgehog, and we might get Metal Sonic, and it'd be pretty cool to see them both.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if so obviously, the gun or whatever that organization is called knows that Shadow exists now. It wouldn't surprise me at all if they become your antagonist, right? And create a Metal Sonic for Shadow to spar against.
That'd be dope.
To train to fight Sonic. That would be a real quick and easy way to introduce that.
Yeah, and then they could set him up to train Shadow, and then Sonic ends up having to fight him anyway. And that I'm down with that.
Yeah, that would be more than fun with that. That'd be great.
Any other character from the annals of Sonic the Hedgehog you'd like to see appear in a live action movie?
I very much would like to see. I want to see Sally Squirrel, man. I'm a fan of those Archie comics from the '90s. I dig it. Sally Squirrel leading the Freedom Fighters. That's what I want. Give me a squirrel with a vest and no pants. Thank you so much.
Yes. I mentioned I'm a big fan of Blaze. Blaze the cat from Sonic Rush. Mm-hmm. Other than that, like Sonic and Tails are my boys. You know what I mean? So we have 2 good movies that have Sonic the Hedgehog in them. I'll correct it. We have 2 good movies where Sonic the Hedgehog is the main character. He also comes up in Wreck-It Ralph. And that's a good movie, but so it's more like a cameo thing. We obviously like the movie. It's I would also say it's not perfect, but I think it's better than the first one. It's a movie that I would have watched 6,000 times when I was 7, while also playing Sonic on my Game Gear.
This would have been on in an infinite loop in my house. I've been obsessed with the concept of Supersonic since I was like 7 years old. So yeah, it would have been forever on a loop.
It got me hype enough that I came straight home and played Sonic Colors and Sonic Mania on Xbox. So it's I'm just glad these movies exist, and for those of you who are still watching, thank you very much. Your kids are going to love this movie. You may not be a big fan, but your kids will love it, even if they haven't played video games. It's like he's a funny, quippy guy who runs really fast and eats chili dogs.
All of my friends who do have kids have taken their kids to see this movie, and all of them, kids and adults alike, have loved it. And I think it's just a testament to, like, keep it simple, because like Sonic doesn't need to get crazy. Now it's probably gonna get crazy once they introduce Shadow and all that stuff. But like for these first 2 movies, they've kept it real simple, and it's just worked out in a way that, like, I don't think anyone could have possibly assumed a Sonic the Hedgehog movie series would work.
I agree, and I'll agree with that. Keep it simple, respect your source material, you know, and you don't, you know, that's not even from, I don't think that it's not okay to change stuff. If you know, you can adjust what makes sense, treat it with respect. That's all you got to do. And then, you know, then you have two Sonic movies that are both successful. I saw a really great meme the other day where it's like, want to see me outperform a Marvel movie? And then he's like, it's like a SpongeBob meme. And then he's like, you want to see me do it again? I haven't seen Morbius, but Sonic has made it so Morbius basically just doesn't exist at the box office.
Does not exist. It's great.
Anywho, thanks very much, Nick, for hanging out. It's good to see you. Like we used to play a lot of games together, and then some stuff happened, and then there was a pandemic, and now I'm just working too much to do anything. But
well, that was always your story. You were always a slave to work.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And like especially this time of year, it's like peak season. This is the first episode I've done in like 3 or 4 weeks. The last one was Turning Red.
Also a great movie.
Yeah, great movie. And another great one for I don't know about young kids like Sonic, but you know, like if you got preteens, it's kind of in that age range.
Not to get too far afield. Turning Red is personally my favorite movie of the entire pandemic era.
Wow. It's hard
and
to.
I've seen a lot of good movies. A lot of good movies since the pandemic started.
Yeah, it's the.
My favorite.
I might have to put that one on Dune. I keep saying that I'm going to sit down and watch more like award-winning movies from last year, and then I just end up hitting play on Dune yet again. So that's
I think I would have liked Dune more if I'd seen it in the theater.
Yeah, that's fair. Thanks again, dude. And I hope to have you back. Next, do we talk about reviewing the Halo show?
I have not watched it yet. I do want to, but I have not given it any time yet.
Well, I will say
I will tell you right now. You can book me for Top Gun.
Okay, done. I will. It comes out end of May, so it'll probably be. Yeah. So done. We've just live on TV decided that we're doing a Top Gun. I was probably doing a Top Gun episode anyway, but you're on the list. Thanks, bro.
Absolutely book me for Top Gun.
And with that, I will. We got to go fast, so we're out, people.